Have you ever wondered, what if your girlfriend wasn't human? What if the person you love came from another world and your blood was the only thing keeping her alive? Tonight, we step into the story of a boy who fell in love with something beyond the stars. Before the story begins, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It was 2:30 a.m. in the middle of the New Mexico desert. Ethan Miles, an astronomy student, was staring through his telescope when he saw something unbelievable. A bright blue light cutting across the sky and crashing somewhere near Red Canyon. The next morning, the university was buzzing with news. Professor Lambert, the head of the astronomy department, announced, "Next week, we'll have a research trip to study the site. That meteorite might be unlike anything ever found on Earth." Ethan could barely wait. The day of the trip, students gathered near the old school bus. That's when Ethan saw her. A quiet girl sitting by the window, her pale skin glowing faintly under the sun. "Hi, I'm Ethan," he said with a friendly smile. The girl turned and smiled back softly. "Lila," she whispered. Her eyes were deep ocean blue, too bright, almost glowing. When sunlight touched her skin, Ethan noticed a faint shimmer like stardust. He joked, "You look like you fell from the stars yourself." Lila smiled, but said nothing. Something about her felt otherworldly. Night fell over the desert. Students pitched their tents and gathered around a campfire. The wind howled through the canyon walls, carrying strange echoes. Ethan couldn't sleep. He heard something, a whisper outside his tent. "Ethan," he stepped out. Lila stood under the moonlight, her eyes glowing faint blue. Her voice trembled. "They found us. We're not safe here." Ethan frowned. "What are you talking about? Who found us?" Lila took a deep breath. "I'm not human, Ethan. I come from a dying world. We call ourselves blood synths. We don't drink human blood. We absorb life energy." But Ethan's breath caught. "You're saying you're..." "Yes, an alien vampire." The next morning, Professor Lambert acted strange. His eyes had a faint blue glow, too. He kept muttering about awakening the energy core. That night, Ethan overheard Lambert speaking to another student in the tent. "The blood synth cannot survive without sacrifice. Tonight, we restore the core, using him." Ethan froze. "Using him?" He ran to Lila. "They're planning something. A sacrifice." Lila's voice shook. "I tried to stop them, Ethan, but Lambert isn't human anymore. He found one of the stones, a crystal from my world. It changed him."
Ethan looked at her, fear mixing with compassion. "Then we stop him. Together." Midnight. The students were gathered inside a glowing cave. Blue fire lit the walls, and Professor Lambert stood in the center, holding the red crystal. "Tonight," he shouted, "we give the blood of man to the heart of the cosmos." Ethan was dragged forward, struggling, as the professor pressed the crystal toward his chest. "Stop!" Lila screamed. She pushed through the crowd, her eyes blazing like twin suns. "I won't let you hurt him." Lambert turned. "You betrayed your kind, Lila. You were meant to join us, not love a human." Lila's voice trembled, but stood strong. "You call this power? All you've done is destroy lives." Ethan shouted, "Lila, run!" But she didn't. She grabbed the crystal from Lambert's hands and pressed it against her own heart. Instantly, a burst of red and blue light filled the cave. A storm of fire, wind, and screams. The explosion threw Ethan to the ground. When the light faded, everything was silent. Ethan woke up in a hospital bed. Outside the window, dawn had just broken. A nurse entered, smiling gently. "You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Miles." Ethan blinked. "Where's Lila? Is she..." The nurse paused. "Lila saved you, but she's gone." Ethan's heart sank. "Gone? You mean dead?" The nurse smiled faintly. "No, just not here anymore." She turned to leave, and for a second, Under the dim light, Ethan saw her eyes flash the same faint blue glow. Days passed. Ethan returned home, unable to sleep. One night, he noticed something strange on his wrist, a faint blue mark glowing like an ember under his skin. Suddenly, he heard her voice, "Ethan." He turned, no one there. But in the mirror, for a split second, he saw Lila's reflection behind him, smiling. Her voice echoed softly, "You're not alone. A part of me is inside you now." Ethan touched the mark and for the first time felt warmth instead of fear. He whispered, "I'll find you, Lila, no matter where you are." Outside the window, one bright blue star twinkled, the same color as her eyes. Months later, Ethan continued his research. NASA discovered strange radio waves coming from the Red Canyon region. The signal repeated one word again and again: home. He smiled quietly. Maybe she was out there. Maybe the universe wasn't so empty after all. Sometimes love isn't bound by time, space, or even blood. Sometimes it's written among the stars. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.